In the secret of successful small business loan and repayment strategies. I think the last topic is we mentioned about the how to proceed the assessment process more smoothly. So today we have some review of the last webinar contents, and also today let more focus on the repayment process, the second side. Let's go into we following today's agenda like this, and introduction and about the fundraising and tips for successful loan repayment process. And we have the last 20 minutes we devoted for the Q&A sessions. But if you have any queries, and please raise your hand and please ask me anytime. Thanks.
So if you want to monitor like 10%.
Okay, let's start the introductions. And so here we are Informatica. We are money lender. Our mission is to enable individual with the dreams to efficiently access the financial service and community, even without a credit score. So let me introduce briefly about myself. And I'm Fumiko. I'm Japanese, and after graduation of the university, I joined. During the university, I'm joined the NGO activity in Vietnam and Cambodia for supporting for the shelter for street students. And after, when I'm starting my career in financial sector during 11 years, starting from the central bank, also A.T. Kearney and Rakuten Trading Company. Then after higher study, I migrated to Bangladesh to study more about the microfinance itself. I'm very keen on to research about the microfinance philosophy and business model. So as you know, the Grameen model is a very worldwide, very famous business scheme of microfinance. So when I started to work there as a consultant and to join the field study in the rural area, to join the town meeting for the women's, and to observe how to proceed the process, and also what is the tips for to avoid the default. So those experience to connected to this startup. So 2019, I established this Informatica with my co-founder, Bangladeshi CTO, and then we started the tech-driven online, the digital microfinance service in Malaysia for female entrepreneurs especially. So we try to offering the solution for some challenging among the SMEs, especially for the small business owners, especially how usually the traditional financial service is only offering the loan for some particular person who have a good credit score. So we try to creating the new type of credit score and to make it more easy to access the finance. And so those are our solutions. So especially we targeting the small business owner, especially women, and here in Malaysia. So let's move on to today's agenda. So first of all, about the fundraising. This is the contents of some of the review of the last webinar. So I found that some participants also joined the last time, and so we rapidly to summarize up of the last contents. So among SMEs, we have almost three choices for the fundraising. First, debt, and second, equity, also third, of subsidies. So those have some pros and cons and strengths and weakness. And so typical debt of a provider is banks, and the others are money lenders. Also nowadays, the P2P lenders as a crowdfunding. Also equity, the provider is typical one is venture capital, and the small one is angel investor. also ECF platform as a crowdfunding as well. And the last choice is a subsidy, usually provided by the government side to very particular themes of the target or situation. So they occasionally to creating the plan for subsidies. So today, particularly, we use some example to in specific situation that people need to choose the which finance at all. So first, starting from the debt finance. So this sample it shows someone, the owner who running the retail store and looking for the finance to open the second shops. So these are the small up to 10 employees. This is the expansion of their business. And so in this specific, relatively small amount of money, it may be suitable to raise by the debt. So as debt overall, the is general feature is the relatively middle risk and middle return, and then relatively easy to access among these two choice. And also the cost will be relatively smaller and depends on the banks and depends on the economy, but usually 3 to 7 or 10%. It depends though. So that's the middle risks of the fundraising. So the next case is, so it is case of the equity funding. So in this case, the business is the tech startup and including the innovative service and innovative ideas. As in this case, this fund used for the research and development R&D more, and then business scale is up to 20 employees and related to IT. So this is just a sample, but the equity have a feature of kind of share offering. So it is high risks for the business owners because also giving share means to give into the authority of the decision making of the company. Also, as for investors, this is also the high risk and high return model. And because of this is a long term, usually investors need to wait to raise a profit until the exit. Exit means IPO or M&A, and it usually takes long years. And also the successful rates for the IPO is quite low. So it means quite high risks and high return model. And once successfully exit, they receiving the very good return, usually 2-3 times until the 50 times or 100 times. So it's quite high profitable rates, but it's high risks model. So that's why only giving for the company who have some very distinguished business model and innovative ideas. Then third one is, this is subsidies. So this is the company, any companies can, of course. And so this is a case of the restaurant. So the facing for the temporary cash flow risk. And then, yeah, so this is the case. And usually the grants and the design for some particular specific occasions, like under how the COVID or under something disasters, and then to save a particular situation or the particular persons, especially for the micro business owners. And so as we recognize currently the government have that kind of funds for DX for IT companies or any companies to creating business for DX or to save from the COVID. Those are the grants and loans. So summarize up each how the funds have some feature pro and cons. So you look at your business, then depends on your business or depends on your purpose of the fundraising. How much is the amount? How long is the terms? And then so you can specifically to choose the right options for the fund, and among these three choice, and then to try and to access the finance. So overall, actually the B Informatica belongs to the debt financing sector because of we following the license of the money lending license under KPKT. So it means money lending. We following Money Lending Act. Then under the license, we offering the small loan. I mean the debt. So from now on, we talking about there are debt financing, especially for SMEs. Until now, is there any questions or any suggestions or any opinions? Is it
So
okay?
far, everything's clear.
All right. Oh, is any questions? Fine.
Yes, I do have a question.
Oh, please.
So, sorry, just one second. Let me refer to your notes just now. I believe it was the like you were explaining on the debt financing, equity financing, and the subsidy financing. Okay,
Right.
And so, I was wondering, right, let's say the criteria for a company, if you were to design one, what would be the controlling point to ask for a debt financing, equity financing, and subsidy financing? Right? Is there a difference in terms of the scale of the company, or in terms of the, how do you say that? It's for the, I'm guessing from my understanding, for the debt financing is usually for a smaller scale. So for equity financing, do you have like a minimum, maximum, or average figure that we should go for this type of equity financing or subsidy financing? Would it be possible to give an example?
Okay, thanks for your questions. I mean, as far as I know, and as my experience, and there only the question, how the criteria of the equity funds is you are as a limited company, you are registered, you need the registration as in Malaysia, at least Sdn.Bhd means that you have limited, you need to issue the your share. You are the company who offering the share. Means currently the before IPO, it means the limited company and means limited person, limited shareholder have this share. So it means this is the meaning of the limited company. So at least you need the SSM registration as a Sdn.Bhd. So this is the minimum requirements as if when you need to access the equity funding first. So this is like a barter. So if you raise funds from investor, you need to give some portion of your share, the company share, to the investors. So it is like a deal. So the share means your ownership of your company. So you give it your ownership to the investor. So investor have some opinions and to involve with your decision making of your company directions. So it's really powerful method as equity fundraising as for the investors. But you might be gaining the big amounts of money compared with the debt financing. So it's quite attractive. And also there is no term. No term means it's not a 1 year, 2 years. It's usually lasts long for until you exit. Exit usually expected by 5 years to 7 years or 9 years. So it's a long term and the high volume, but very, very risky because you need to give the share. But as for debt for the criteria, it depends on financial institution. So the banks, I believe the requirement is you need to register the limited company like a Sdn.Bhd. Also the proprietor, sole proprietor also can possible. Depends on the banks. Also, the money lender also same as we also accommodating for both the limited company and sole proprietor. But at least we required SSM registration. But some money lenders might be not requirement for the registration itself. So just like, how can I say, the unregistered company sometimes can apply for the money lenders, but very depends on the financial institutions. Is that okay?
ただ、内田さんは一応なんかサーバー構築、そういう知識があっても、なんか即戦力で通して入れるし。一応、
Is it okay for enough?
Yes, yes, it is. Thank you, Fumiko. It's
All
a
right.
very comprehensive explanation. Yes.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you for your questions. Let's continue to the next topic. So the new topic is the how successfully complete the loan repayment. This is new topics, and so as we are money lender, we believe the most important things is if you successfully the repayment to do the repayment, how it's a good because of to build a good credit history. So this is really deep and how can I say the meaningful that words. So maybe some people don't understand that this credit means. So today I try to explain it more in detail in plain words. So this credit history is lasts long, and also it's really affected the financing activity in currently, also in the future. So this is the sample for, this is the unfortunately bad sample for the Mr. John. And so he operating the retail store, but he's having some unfortunate bad result of the, he lend the money from money lenders, and that he facing a lot of challenges, and then not enough to generate enough revenue. So means he started to delay. So what things happen to him is usually the financial distress. A lot of the process have some challenges between us as a money lender and also the borrowers. So normally, if you started to delay, you're receiving the letter from us for warning letter, and starting from us, and the next step will from the lawyer, and then if you cannot repay, what things happen in the last is we registered your loan as a blacklist. The Malaysia, we have CTOS as a company who managing registered of your all credit score. This is really plain, how can I say, the very general and overwide of most of the banks and money lenders rely on this CTOS. So it's quite important credit of yourself and individually, also the company as well. So if you have a blacklist, if you registered as a blacklist in the CTOS, it will affect it of your next financing, because every financial institution to look at your history from the CTOS. Also, furthermore, if you cannot deal with the repayment back, so usually money lender to take a step for the lawsuit and to go to the court, then to have the judge waiting for the judge for the result. Then if you cannot, and usually the court will declare for some, how can I say, the repayment back from your asset or from your future income until to completed the loan. So that's the final result of the legal step is require a lot of cost, also a lot of terms, and also the bad credit affected your bad credit. Also this legal suits also registered in your CTOS as well. So this is ultimate, the most, how can I say, serious result though. So we hope before going to this situation, we have enough time, usually 1 month. And so we have a lot of solutions between this. So later on, I'll discuss for how to avoid this legal case. This is really very avoidable. And also we should avoid this situation because of finally it's affected your future finance a lot. So this is the case for the good case, the Stephanie 36, and so she running the boutique clothing store. So she's always repay on time, and also she always take actions for the reminders, also auto debit payment system. And also she really frequently to check in her progress for repayment back. So in this case, finally, she has very good credit history. There is no issues, there is no bad credit information in the CTOS. So in this case, finally, what she get amount in the end is the next time she can access the bigger amounts. Also, she sometimes some financial institution to give less interest rates. So it's quite beneficial. And so she has more successful to growing her business itself. So this is the meaning of the good credit. The credit you can raise. How can I say? Yeah, you can raise. You can get bigger. So in this case, you need to show your credit, the activities to repay on time as much as possible. And you should have a good communication to need to think about the solution to how to create in this good credit score. But this is, we know, especially for the business owners, is very vulnerable because running business is not so easy, and it's a long-term journey. Usually, we offering loan for 1 year, so this is 12 times installment. It's a very, very long journey. So we know a lot of trouble and a lot of risks among this 1 year. So, for example, the cash flow fluctuations. Yeah, definitely. So suddenly the fixed costs increasing, and also the income is not so stable. So it's really easily to understand. Also, second things also same. I mean, unexpected expenses. Suddenly there are something happenings, events, and the emergency things happen. Then you need to spend unexpected expenses, for sure. And then third one is other external factors, a lot of factors from economic downsides, also the market conditions, also the COVID. So this is ultimate external factors is uncontrollable, but affected your business a lot. But still, we have a lot of solutions, we believe, as a money lender. So first of all, there's two solutions generally. The one is you can protect yourself as like a preparation time. Also, the second one is you need to rely on to consult it with us. I mean, for as a money lender. So there are two type of solutions. The first of all, we mentioned about your initiative required, and so first before applications for your loan, you need to understand your ability to repay, ability or capacity. So first, how much loan amount you can take. So in this case, what you need is you need to know your income and your expenses, and that this gap means buffer. So buffer means your cash in your hand in every month. So these three things is very basic as a PL, the profit and loss table. So in the first webinar, we recommended to keep the bookkeeping. So this is the first step to know what is your basic income, expenses, and buffer. So this is like accounting diary. So you can just start from today to just easy one, very simple one, to just record every day for your in and out. Another one is to monitor the cash flow, almost same though. Yeah. And so the cash flow is everything because the cash is the king, you know. So among all the asset, the cash is the king because of the in emergency, you always need the cash. And also the emergency fund to preparing for the portfolio for the emergency funds. As emergency funds means when you are in trouble, so you need to change this asset to the cash. So yeah, so the emergency purpose. So you need to secure some funds for separate from your business account, maybe for your individual savings or including your relatives or friends and who are close relationship with you, then it can be the emergency funds or asset in your asset, your house or car, and those can be the emergency funds. So you need to think about in the option B and option C. So when you're in the trouble, so what's funds it's relying. So you need a buffer except from your bank accounts. Those are the tips. So okay, so what you can do, another thing is to review and adjust for your budget. So budget is the future things. So future things, so you need to make a plan. And if you run a business, you always creating some business plan. And not only the plan of the actions, but also the accounting sheet. You should have the plan for the income and plan for expenses. So it is monthly basis, and in Excel, usually the yearly, or in our case, so we have 3 years, 5 years projection in Excel. So as depends on your business style, though, I hope if you run a business, you should create a rough idea for your income for monthly, in a yearly, and so those will be help you to creating the lending plan, borrowing plan, because of the you can understand the buffer for yearly or monthly, then you can easily to calculate how much you can fundraising, as a borrowing from us, and it should be within your buffer. And usually 30% of your income is the general typical calculation for the right amount of the amount of loan. Also, the next topic is to rely on the other person. So first of all, we can suggest for the government organization, they have some supporting desks. They call the AKPK, as I don't know how much you know. And so this is kind of the government or third party between the government and private sector. So they are helping the mitigation of the issues or troubles between the financial institution and the borrowers, or especially companies or individuals. So if unfortunately the only service for the banks, so unfortunately they don't give us the money lenders. But I hope if you have any trouble, you can knock this organization to how to behave and how to think. I believe they can help you to offering some advice, and to also, I heard they also pay instead of you for the rest of the loan, or this kind of the help funds, the emergency funds they have. So they will help you to repay back the loan in accident. Okay. Also, the financial assistant here, they suggest for the you should rely on the third party of your close friends or your close relatives or friends, families, and then so it is also helpful in an emergency situation. Okay, so this is another topic for rely on us means we always suggest to having a good relationship between the money lender and the borrowers. So always, as in a process of the application process, we always emphasis, exercising for how to build a strong relationship with us. It is the key to avoid the further legal step. So we understand all the business have some difficulties and on the journey. So, but everyone have risks to having a challenge to repay back on time. So when you face any trouble, I recommend it to first give us the situation, the informations, what things happen, what is the situation, and earlier is better. So before the deadline would be much better. Then we grasp the idea for the situation. Then we analyze of this situation coming from you or coming from others, coming from economies, and because some factors are uncontrollable from us. So then we judge. We will usually we give an offer for reconstruction plan. Means so we prolong the terms of the loan, or we reducing the amount of the loan. It's the same actually. The reducing amounts means the prolonging for the terms of the repayment back. So these are the very effective solution for both sides, because as it will help you to make it more easier plan. And or also another plan is we make pause for a few months and until you started to regenerating your income. So 2 to 3 months we can wait, and then after the pause, and you can start repayment back for according to the original schedule. So anyway, all the solution is come from the good relationship and a good communication with us. So it's quite important to sharing the information, also discussion for the further step, because we knows and a lot of cases have a similar situation, and we can offer for the better solution with you than if you have any trouble. So I hope this is most important because of how can I say, without this discussion, we don't have any we don't have any option to give you any solutions from our side. So very, very strongly, we hope, and to all the borrower, if you have any issues, please give us the communication as soon as possible. That's the only request from our side. Okay. All right. So finally, we summarize up for we knows, and so everybody, it's easy to facing the trouble during the journey for the business, but especially for during the repayment back. But we have two options. So one option is what you can do by yourself. So first, you need to know your ability. Also, you need to know your cash flow through the bookkeeping, and you need to prepare in the emergency funds. And also, you need to build of your budget, the business budget for usually 1 year. So it will help you to make a good plan before borrowing money. And another things is, so please rely on the others. So some KPKT, there's some AKPK, so is the government organization having some desks to mitigation of the issues, also the discussion between us, or to giving you the suggestion and to give you your some how the funds, the alternative funds for repayment back of the loan. Also, please give us the good communication. Please keep communication with us. The earlier is better, and then we can always open the mind and then open the solutions. A lot of solution we have before taking the legal step. That's the things. Okay. Last point. One case study, I found that the Mr. A in actual borrowers, and still he's in a borrower of us. So I found it. So he's already taking the third loan from us. So he's a long-term client. So, but the initial loan, when we start this business and 2.5 years ago in 2020, during the COVID, so he doing the logistic business in Malaysia. So when during the lockdown, definitely he was affected by lockdown. Then his business is going down, almost stopped, because of he accepting imported goods from overseas and then to delivery to the factory. So that's why it's really affected. So he doesn't have any good communication. So almost every month we have a trouble, and always I send a lot of reminder, a lot of calls, and a lot of meetings, and to try to understand his situation. So then finally we suggest him the reconstruction plan for waiting for 3 months, then until the lockdown end. Then after the lockdown, he successfully restart to generate income, and then to we reducing the amounts and prolonging for his term as well. So successfully, he completed for the first loan to get the second loan to bigger size. So, and until now, he renew for his funds for 2 times. And even now, after 2 years, he having this trouble again. But now what we found is he really good communication with us. And when he found his trouble and situation, and he let us know when he can expect it to repay back. Also, what's the amount. Also, he tried his best to repay some portion, like half size of his repayment amounts and in advance, and then the rest of things to repay on the later on. So we are really surprised in how the good communication as a borrower, because maybe he learned from the initial communication by first loan. So then he gradually to build of his communication skill with the financing institutions. So those are the things, and this is just a sample, but we expected that maybe we need to raise our relationship together, because everybody is the first time we don't know each other. So gradually through this journey, we build a relationship, and then to be a good borrower and good lender, then we give it the suggestion or advice and to how to recover and how to build the credit itself. Those are the most important things to be a good repayment back schedule. All right. Thank you so much. That's all from my side. Please give the questions.
Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Fumiko, for your wonderful presentation. So guys, we have reached our Q&A session time. So please, it's open for all type of questions. Not necessarily it must be a part of this webinar. Let's say if it's a part of this webinar as well, anything related to business you can ask. Anything you like to get clear, any of the slides you don't understand much, please let Ms. Fumiko know. She'll get it clear for you. Yeah. So please, this opportunity. She's already open for questions now. Guys, please go ahead and shoot your questions.
Hi, Anissa.
Okay, so now I do understand how important it is to make a proper loan repayment, right? So since you have mentioned that you are a money lender company, so I have a question. What if in future, if now I already applied for loans with your company and
Anissa,
suddenly
sorry, I'm afraid
Anissa,
your
Anissa,
voice is not
sorry.
clear.
Yeah, the voice is breaking. It's a bit
I
hard.
see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So I'll repeat my question. So I believe that you have mentioned that you are from a money lending company.
Mhm.
So my question is, what if I already applied loan from you, and suddenly, right now my business is not doing well and
Mm.
couldn't afford to repay the loan back.
Mm.
So what can your company give? I mean, any options or solutions that you can give to us
Mm.
so that I can repay you back and make a proper loan repayment.
All right. Thanks for your questions. Usually, first we suggest to having some meetings, online or whatever, to come to our office and to try to grasp the information. What's the situation yourself, and so what's the cause of the decrease in the income, or what's usually your clients have some issues to repay for the, I mean, to payment for your company usually. So what's the situation? How many person delayed, or how much delayed, and when supposed to you generate a next income? So those we try to hear those things, those info, and then try to creating some structure for the reconstruction plan by ourselves. So without this information, we cannot make any good plan. So first, we need to know. Then after that, we will suggest to you to how long we should wait, and if it may be only 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month or 3 months. It very depends on your situation, and also we want to know the what's cause, and only your client's case, or from the government side, or any other economic solution, I mean economic factors are affected or not. So we need to analyze in what's cause of this trouble. So we are like consultant, and to try to analyze what's the back behind, what's cause. Then depends on the issue, depends on the reason, then we create a solution and to suggest you the reconstruction plan for you. I mean, the reconstruction plan, as I mentioned in the lecture as well, for usually wait, pause for repayment back. And second is to reduce the amounts, the per shot, and also simultaneously to prolong, make it longer for the term. If it still waiting, I mean, still you have the remaining 6 months, so it makes 9 months, for example, to make it longer, and to one shot can be reduced, right? So those are the very typical, the reconstruction plan we offer to the borrowers.
I see. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Anissa, for your wonderful question. Any other questions, guys? We are open for a few more here. So we have until 4. Yes, go ahead.
Please.
Hello.
Hi.
So my question is, as a business owner, do you have any like opportunities or your experiences that you were able to gain because of building a great credit history with your business?
Sorry, the question itself is what we can offer, what?
I'm just curious with your personal experience with your when you raise your own business, and I
Oh,
just want
okay.
to know like how important to build a good credit history in our business. So do you have any, is there any like your personal opportunities or experience connected to building a good credit history?
Okay, thanks for your questions. Actually, myself, as a company, we never having the debt financing experience before. So I just to utilize of our clients' samples instead of me. And so another sample we found it for the Miss B, for example. So she originally have a very good communication with us, and for the first almost the 9 months among 12 months. But someday, so means she always quick response, and also she usually never delay for the online. And sometimes only 1 day, 2 days delay, but she always have some communications. So we never look at her as we rely on her as your communication skill. But someday she started delay because of she lose the grandpa, and she had some psychometric issues, and then so she couldn't communicate for 2 months. So then we don't know, we are a bit panicked, and then because of suddenly she disappeared and having no communications. But the someday after a few months, then we visit her office and to try to her face and to start the communication to figure out what's happened in her families. Then we find out so she's on the journey from the illness, and also she's on a better condition and to improve, and day by day. So then also she restarted for her business again. Then so finally after 2 months, the third month she started to repay. Then we willing to accepting the reconstruction plan for her to same as the Mr. A. So we prolong the total terms from 6 months to 10 months, for example, and to reduce the amounts. Then both sides, we understood each other, we how accept each other. Then she started and to following the reconstruction plan. Then from that time, and there is no trouble until now. So she become recovered, and then so she still, again, she has a good communication between us. So those are another case of so everybody, we understood for the good time and bad time. So we are human beings, and also we running the business means very, very harsh conditions under economy. So we knows. So I hope in your difficulties, I know you might be very challenging to even communication as well. So, but hopefully we hope to continue the communication at least the minimum size, but we can wait. In our case, we can wait. So I hope that all the borrower, if you even in the trouble or hard condition, but please open your heart and to please at least to maintain the communication, minimum communication with us, to let us know the situation, and we can try to listen your voice, and also considering your situation to offering a better restructured plan. So those are the things and what we can offer.
Okay, I understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kanna. Really appreciate your question.